I do want to talk to you since we talked about poop. How many times should we be pooping a day?
Let's just get right to it.
I'm just curious. Like,
my wife has told me that I'm far too comfortable talking about this topic. Sometimes we're at dinner parties and
it's like, yeah, this is how you should be pooping and how it should look. And
yeah. She's like, you're not allowed to talk about bloody bowel movements anymore.
Oh my God.
So,
so wait a minute. First off, how many times should we be pooping a day, and how long does it take for after you eat food for it to come out? What's the optimal timeline?
All right.
To know that you're a healthy, functioning human being.
I'm so glad that you asked this question because actually there's a fun experiment that people can do at home. So now, first of all, let me answer the question about pooping.
Yes.
I'm of the belief that pooping should be it should feel full. It should be a complete evacuation. All right.
Okay.
It should be a complete evacuation. You should no longer feel like you have to go when you're done. It should be satisfying. And this entire process, dare I say, should be fun. Like, it should feel good.
It shouldn't be painful.
It certainly should not be painful. It should not be effort. It should feel good. And you should be able to flip that door open and strut out in slow motion. And Michael Bublé, I'm feeling good, is blasting while like explosions and slow motion
fireworks,
doves are
smoke. Yeah.
All right, this is the way that I think it should be for people. Unfortunately, it's not. Shocking, considering 95% of Americans are fiber deficient. Of course, that plays a role. How often should we poop? The average American poops once a day. If you were consuming an adequate diet with an adequate amount of fiber, you would be pooping more than once a day.
Really?
Yo, definitely. You would poop probably twice a day, but it's not about the number. So I want to make sure that we not fixate on this because I'm quite sure there will be listeners who will hear this and they'll go,
something's wrong with me if I poop once a day.
Yeah. Hold up. If you are pooping on a level where you have complete adequate bowel movements, it's satisfying, you have a sense of relief when you're done, and you are not suffering symptoms as a result of your bowel movements, you're in a great place.
Wow.
And that maybe that's not once a day for you. And that's okay. All right, so there are people who poop every other day, and I would not classify them as constipated based upon that alone. Meanwhile, Lewis, there are people who poop every day, and they are clearly constipated.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, they don't even realize that they're constipated because they say, I'm pooping every day. You need better bowel movements. If you are not completely evacuating when you go, then that is not it. Then that is, to me, the first step towards backing up, and backing up is constipation.
Wow. How long should it take when you get on the toilet to finish? Should it
Okay.
be like, okay, I sit down, it should be like 30 seconds done, I wipe, clean, and move out? Or is it like, okay to be there for a few minutes?
So for the dudes in the audience, I'm quite sure that many of you have a habit of bringing your phone into the bathroom and checking your fantasy league or whatever it may be, or playing a video game. And I don't want you spending more than 5 minutes on the toilet if you can avoid it. So the process of pooping should be where we feel a sense of urge, not necessarily urgency, but urge.
Like, I need to go.
I gotta go.
I can hold it if I need to, but it's ready.
Now's the time.
Yeah.
Right. And and in that moment, you are listening to the cues of your body, right? This is completely natural. And you go into the bathroom, you get into a proper pooping position, which, by the way, a proper pooping position is not sitting rigidly on a toilet.
What is it?
It's moving your feet up. So having some sort of bench,
I've got that.
stool. You got a squatty potty?
Oh, yeah.
Do you?
I love it, man.
Yes,
I love the squatty
yes.
potty, man. I've had that for a few years.
Oh, you're a pooping master. You're a pooping icon.
I don't know about that. I was thinking the reason I got it is because I used to be constipated. I used to be like blocked up, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if this is too TMI here, but
Certainly not with me.
and I want to ask you this. For probably, I don't know, 15, 20 years. Like, it was not every day, but it seemed like it was off and on, right? I was like, oh man, I'm taking a while to go. It's like, and here's when it started to change. So what you're telling me at the beginning of this conversation is starting to make some sense. And I started to pull some of this together in the last couple of years too. I'm curious about, when I was 16, I had 8 teeth removed. The orthodontist was like, you've got a small mouth. We got to open your mouth. We got to give you braces, but we got to take out the 4 wisdom and then 4 on the sides.
Oh, that's brutal.
Right?
Yeah.
It was miserable.
That is not
4
fun.
weeks of recovery with just ice bags and a freaking helmet to like hold it together, right? It was miserable. Now, as it started to heal, I was just like, I don't want to go through more pain. I was 16.
Yeah.
Football season was coming up. I was going to wear a mouth guard for 3 months. I was like, I'll wait till basketball season to put the braces on. I delayed it as long as I could. 3 months turned into 20 years. Where my teeth started to enclose, I couldn't, my back teeth stopped touching. So I only could touch my front 2 teeth. Right here. The back teeth enclosed, it went reverse my jaw. So the back teeth did not touch. So I wasn't able to chew properly.
Oh.
So it would get very tiring chewing with my front 2 teeth.
Wow.
So I'd essentially just eat a few bites and swallow.
Yeah.
So I finally got Invisalign and got braces, and I finally got implants of those teeth so that I could actually chomp my food better.
Yeah.
Once I got those implants in, I still have one more I need to do. Once I got them in, I noticed that I started to use the bathroom better. I was able to chew more fully, chomp more fully, and therefore process better. I was also more intentional about how I was eating and what I was eating and things like that. But I'm curious if you're just chewing a few bites and swallowing your food as opposed to actually chewing it down, how that affects your, I guess, blocked up or constipation levels. And adding that with a processed diet, I'm assuming did not support me with my gut.
Right. Yeah, there's multiple different factors there. It's interesting what you're describing with your teeth because this is what a lot of older people deal with on a routine basis.
Really?
Yeah, and they struggle to be able to chew their food, and because they can't chew their food, they opt for simpler foods that are pre-digested in a way.
Really?
Which are ultra-processed foods. It's a lot easier to eat ultra-processed foods. There's quite a bit of data actually around eating rate, how fast we eat. By the way, this is something that we're looking at Zoe. Zoe is a company that we are running the world's largest nutrition science study right now, and I'm the US medical director. And so with eating rate, how fast you eat, it's highly compelling that foods that require us to slow down actually are beneficial to our metabolism.
Interesting.
Yeah. And you could take the exact same food and serve it 2 different ways, one of which you can just scarf down, or the other one requires you to actually chew your food. And the one that requires you to chew your food that's less pre-digested actually is better for your body metabolically.
Really?
Yeah.
So what about
nut
smoothies?
butter versus?
What about a smoothie?
In a perfect world, you would eat a salad.
You want to make a smoothie
You
or
want to make a smoothie,
juice.
but I'm here advocating for smoothies
yeah.
because they're delicious and they're a great way to still get fiber, phytochemicals, polyphenols into your diet with a diversity of plants. So, and then you can have your salad for lunch. Like, you're not going to eat a salad at every meal. Let's be honest.
Yeah, exactly. Wow. So
So
you're saying nut butter versus almonds.
Yeah.
It's better to have the almonds.
100%.
Why is that?
I think there's a couple things. So part of it is the food itself. It's not like food is more than just calories and nutrients and macros. There's a structure to the food, and we call it the food matrix. And an intact food matrix is, generally speaking, the preferred way to consume our food. So basically what that means is less processed.
Wow.
Yeah.
So if it's pure, even if it's like a whole food, but it's pureed or processed, right? Or crushed down or whatever it might be, it's better to have the whole food by itself than the processed version or the crushed down version.
When possible, but like, I'm not here to make
It's
it
not
sound like I
horrible,
don't
though.
like
Yeah.
almond butter or peanut butter. There have been some interesting studies about if you take the exact same food and you cook it. If you cook it, it actually has a different effect on the microbiome. So like, for example, you take kale and maybe you would steam the kale to soften it up and things like this. By steaming it, you're actually changing the food a little bit. It's not a bad thing. And it'll have a slightly different effect on your gut microbiome than that raw,
Wow.
uncooked kale. So yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff there.